Yo.
So my question to you, right? So, since you're the arts and culture reporter, right? Do all your white colleagues come to you and be like, well, Earl, since you're the culture and arts guy, can you answer these questions? Do they come for you for everything that's all like black in a sense, everything that's all urban in a sense, you mean?
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Oftentimes that's the situation, but with someone like me, I'm the person you can do that with because I understand y'all are coming from a good place because you understand you don't understand it. Yes. Recently, I wrote a story about the Travis Kelce cut. Like that's what they were calling a drop fade.
Yeah. Oh my God. This has been happening since the beginning of time.
Bro, I almost threw up when I seen that for the first time. The Travis Kelce cut.
Right. It's insane. And the New York Times did a story on it first, I would say. It did a bad job at it. And so I had to come in, you know what I'm saying, and be like, yo, this is crazy. Like I get my cuts by come on. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like cultural stuff. There's just certain things that I'm better suited with. So I don't take offense to it because I know that they're coming from a good place and my editors are dope. Like they genuinely are dope people. Yeah. And so it makes it easier for me to do that type of stuff. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Okay. But in past situations, I will say, like me having to argue with somebody about the spelling of do-rag. Like that's crazy.
That's wild.
Like I've been wanting to do it all my life. Like you can't do that. So
how would they?
Yeah.
How would they try to spell it, yo?
How they trying to spell it?
How they trying to spell it, yo?
There's only one way you can spell do-rag, bro.
I don't know.
D-E-W.
Right, bro.
Like
D-double-O?
Like Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Do-rag.
D-double-O.
Insane, bro. Yo.
Oh man,
but I understand the place. I get it.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Nah, that's fucking nuts, bro.
That's great.
Now, what speaking of impactful articles, what's one article or a couple that stuck out to you as being really fulfilling for you?
I would say when I was working at my hometown newspaper, I met this family. It was actually through a photographer of mine. His name is Galen Morris, and so he introduced me to this pastor and his congregation, maybe 4 to 6 people. Yeah. But in most of it, I'm not gonna lie, was most of his family, to be honest. And so he was the Steve Harvey suit wearing John, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He was kooky, he was a little kooky, a little odd. But
he's swimming in that suit.
And so I met him, I went to his church. This had to be 2019, it was fall 2019.
Okay.
And me and my photographer go in, we first meet him, he spritz holy water on us. Cool.
Snap.
That was the first. That was the intro. What's funny about that is my photographer is atheist, so it's damn. Okay. Damn. All right.
Not only am I in the church, I'm getting spritzed on.
That's crazy. So when I met him,
everybody gets some.
Yeah, everybody gets some.
He was handing out holy water like Oprah. Hey, you get some holy water. You get some.
And so,
but go ahead, bro.
So I met bro, and so I was like, yo, dude, I don't even know. And my photographer is the one that introduced me to him and the idea of the story. And so I'm like, okay, cool. This could be a typical feature story. We just feature an oddball and then we kind of keep it moving. Right. But when I met him, I was like, yo, this dude is a deep thinker. He has 16 children with his wife. They live in North Columbus, which is the more it's low income, it's poverty stricken type of area. But
you said 16?
16. 16. Same woman. Same woman. And I think he actually has a total of 19. So it's different. It's very different. And so
you go to church and go straight to bed.
Right.
And so I meet this dude.
You the Holy Ghost tonight. What? You gonna get some of this ghost tonight.
Some of that spritz.
You get some.
No, we can't say nothing serious, though.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you good.
I'm sorry, Earl. My bad, bro.
And so I'm meeting with dude, and of course, you had to already have an idea of who this person may be in your mind. And at the time, I'm 22, 23 or something like that. So I'm okay, whatever. But when I went to their house, spent time with his children and everything. These kids, 4.0 students, they get up at 5 a.m. every morning to run on a nearby track. Wow. Discipline is at the center of everything they do.
I love that. That's
amazing. And even more so, love is at the heart of it. So I saw not only am I in my hometown, am I in an area which they lived. It was like a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house, maybe with all those children and everything, man. It opened my eyes because initially, if I didn't know better, if I didn't have conversations, deeper conversations, spend deeper time with those folks, I would have said, yo, these people, you know, unfortunately due to circumstance, blah, 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 blah. No, at the center of the story when I wrote it, it was love. Yeah. And by doing that story, it showed me the love in which the love I have for the things that I do as a journalist. Yeah. So like, that's why that was such a close touchstone for me. That's great. But yeah.
That's what's up, man.
That's great. That's awesome.
Just spending that little bit of time, bro. It shifted not only perspective, but the narrative that you was already starting to create in your mind. Right, just naturally.
And my question for you is kind of like being a journalist, because I feel like, you know, as human beings and as like, you know, people watch things on the news and they just see the headline and it's kind of like they automatically go with that notion.
Absolutely.
But as being someone that's entrenched in it, that's involved in it so heavily, like what would be your advice for the people out there as far as like when articles come out and how to actually digest them? And is it actual believable? Should we go? And I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble. Is it actual? Should we actually fact check all these things before we go with the first thing that we read? Obviously you should, but as being an insider, how do you digest certain things and how do you look at certain things?
So I think we have to do ourselves due diligence in the fact that we have to go to the right sources. Like not every media source is the right source. Like I'm human too. Like I get it. I'm Gen Z. I'm 27 years old. Like I go to Twitter or, you know, various other social media outlets to get like a summary of what today's news could be.
Correct. Spark notes.
You know?
Yeah.
But we have to do our own effort and realize, okay, what is the source that we're even absorbing this information from? Correct. And not only go by headline. You're right. Yeah. Like you have to click on it, whether you have to subscribe or not. That's up to you. You know what I'm saying?
But see, people don't read. People don't read. They just go to the headline. Oh, so and so happened, and you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna play telephone. Do you know so and so happened?
Oh, it happens so much.
Too much,
girl. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But what else happened? I don't know. I just read the headline.
Yeah,
and that's the end of it. That's always the end of it. So, but yeah, what you're saying is correct, though.
Microwave society, man.
100%. That's the issue for me as a writer, right? I was at a grips. I'm like, yo, do I see myself continuing to do this, knowing how I could work on a story for a week plus 2 weeks, a month, even like a couple months. I did a story this summer. It took 3 months to do. It was about Philly nightlife. Yeah. I'm like, yo, journalism can be a thankless job sometimes.
Oh my God.
Like you can disseminate information like that's valuable to a community as best you can, and some people will still look at the headline, but then ultimately you just got to do what's right. You know what I'm saying? And as a reader, as a consumer, I encourage y'all, like, please, like, don't just go by the headline. Right. You're missing key details that could affect you and your community in a sense. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely. Right. So do also another question I have for you. So you're a journalist. Obviously, you write and do all this stuff. But now we live in a day and age where there's social media and everything's like video. Everything is, everyone wants to see it on screen. Do you feel like journalism and writing and people actually reading, do you think that's dying? Do you think it's kind of like in a day and age where, because before, like, the newspaper used to be a thing,
right?
Paper boy used to come out, bop, boop, boop, right in front of your crib. Now everything's digital, but now even that it's digital, you'll read it on your iPad or your phone or whatever. But now people rather watch a video of someone speaking to it instead of like sitting down and actually reading an article.
Even worse, like they're listening to a summarization of some news a print journalist did. Yeah. And they're doing it poorly. Like, you know what I mean?